Okay, hey guys, this is Lorenzo here. So yeah, doing another Blood Bowl game, and it's the Dark Elves you saw me make in the previous video, and it's their first match against Zombieland. So that's Blood and Soul versus Zombieland, which is the team of Undead. Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm hoping to win because at lower ranks, teams like Dark Elves with higher agility tend to have better chances of winning due to the lack of stats in there, just generally better agility stats that they pick up the ball and play better, but we'll see. Okay, so the game started and I get to pick which side of the coin that I'm going to take, so I'm going to take Tails. Okay, so he's picking. Let's have a quick look at the teams. Right. I'm setting up first. Wow, I think it started off sunny, which is annoying for me because I'll be playing the passing game more than he will. At least I usually will, but I'll try and avoid it. Right, so I've got my standard lineman. Let's just see how many. Forget how many I actually bought. Looks like I got 5 linemen, which as you can see are here. I've got 2 blitzers, which have got block, which makes them more adept, which means if I roll the both down dice, they're immune to it. So if he doesn't have block and I have block, then we can use that as basically a normal tackle. We've got an assassin who has this ability which lets him follow opponents as they move about the board, and this is stab, which basically means rather than throwing a normal block, he stabs with a hidden knife. And the basic thing, you just have to roll an armor roll, and if it breaks armor, then obviously he goes down if he doesn't. So this is quite useful against stronger opponents because you don't actually have to roll compared to strengths, you just roll their armor, which is still quite high, but 1/4 of the time you probably hit. I got this runner who's basically just higher movement value, but I think, yeah, Witch Elves have the same amount. But he also, if he gets tackled while holding the ball, he'll throw it off. He gets to pick something. He can throw it too, so he gets rid of it, which is quite useful. Finally, we've got Witch Elves, which are very agility based. They're a bit like Berserkers in Norse, actually, very like Berserkers. But they've got low armor value than, say, the linemen or the blitzers, and the runners also got low armor value. So that'll do for now, at least. I'm sure this guy will go straight around me. Okay, on his team, he's got 2 mummies, which are the big guys, and come with Mighty Clone Regeneration, so they'll be pretty nasty. A white, which is essentially a blitzer. It's zombies, which are just filler troops. They're just there to absorb hits and tangle people up, otherwise they're completely useless. Or rather, they're one of the worst ones. And he's got 3 ghouls, which are fast, dodging ball carriers. So I'll just fast forward, take you to the okay, so this guy's French. Say good luck, have fun. So I get to kick it off. He's played all his people in the front, which makes sense because he's going to have the first few hits. So I'll just kick it upfield. Basically, I want to be absorbing the hits with my linemen and my blitzers because they have higher armor values. But then I want to be doing the damage with my Witch Elves, my blitzers, and my assassin. Now, on the kickoff, it rolled a 5, I think, which is high kick, so he gets to move the player underneath where the ball's about to land, and that player will roll a catch roll if he succeeds. Yep, see there, he rolled the both down, which means they don't get pushed away, and he actually succeeded and he had blocked, so he just knocked my lineman to the ground. And there goes another lineman. Yeah. Okay, so this one he didn't, with his mummy he didn't actually manage to hit his player, which is good. Good start. But he's going to go for my assassin probably, I'd imagine, because he sees that as, yeah. And he succeeds a hit, so if he injures my assassin I'm in a little bit of trouble, but he doesn't. So good luck on my side there. So that's all his blocks that he can potentially make done. I guess he's just going to move the players about a bit. Looks like he might be forming a cage, which is where you form a sort of square around the ball carrier and then just sort of push upfield. It's quite a slow way of doing it, but that might suit him quite well because he doesn't want me to get the ball because I'm quite fast, and if I get the ball in like the last 2 turns of the half, I could equalise if I'm lucky enough. So I imagine his plan is going to be to try and get as many hits in on as many as possible, and try and injure my team in general. His weak targets seem to be these guys. Don't really know what to do here. I'm going to play a sort of... Well, first of all, I'd like to get rid of this player, really. Means if I use block... Basically, I would quite like to just get rid of any of his... If I roll a red die, I'm in trouble. But I don't, luckily. And I punch him away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a bit of a strange game, or rather a different game to what I normally would play, where I'm just going to dart away every time he tries to land a hit. I'm just going to minimise the amount of blocks he can make on my team so that I don't lose injuries. And these guys got agility 4, which makes their dodging relatively easy. So if I just keep doing this tactic, he can only manage to actually push down one of my players once per round, which will make it quite difficult for him to actually break through the line. So he'll then either have to change his tactics up to maybe something a bit more involving throwing and such, or he'll have to he'll keep pushing, and it'll probably finish in about turn 8 probably. Okay, so yeah, he's done his blitz now. He can't do any more blocks, and he actually failed the blitz anyway. So what I'm really just waiting for is him to make a mistake, leave a gap in his line or something. But if he just keeps doing stuff like this, just thinking how I can go about this. Oh, he did. Oh wait, he could make that block, but yeah, whatever. That's fine. If I could get a witch elf round to here, that'd be great. But I think he's blocking quite nicely from me from doing that. So yeah, if he puts a zombie out there, he's going to stop me. So I can make that block. Ta-da. Knock his player down. I'd really love to injure one of his players, but there's no real like ideal target here. Okay, we'll try and use stab on this guy. He fails and then just stays. Okay, I didn't realise he would. I don't usually play Dark Elves, so I didn't realise he'd stay position. Okay, so we're going to dodge out of here. Roll a dice against this guy. We just basically want to keep him at bay, which we can do by simply dodging out of the way every time. And hopefully, although I don't have many dodge rolls, that's the only issue. What we'll also do is put a blitzer back here, which will threaten the back, and he'll have to attend to that. And it also means if there's something particularly awful happens to his team, I'll be there to throw the ball. If I manage to get the ball, I can throw it back. For now, we'll just keep placing players in this arrangement so he can't actually get me. Okay. Should be interesting to see how he responds. So, he's probably worked out what I'm doing. And there's potential areas he could just break through, like here. But if he breaks through, he's going to leave his mummies behind, which makes him, because they've got low movement value, so they'd only be able to move about there. which is making it a bit tricky to... I just need to hope that he doesn't manage to injure any of my players. But yeah, we'll follow him if he moves. But he did... Oh, we didn't quite manage it. Oh wait, yes we did. There you go. That's what shadowing does. It probably puts this guy in a bit of a nasty position. But if he gets pushed around a bit, I was sort of hoping that he'd get left there. But he didn't. Okay, so he does land a hit on me annoyingly. Ow, and he injures me. Too badly hurt. So I'm down that assassin. So that guy achieved what he wanted. Injuring me. Though that assassin probably wasn't going to play too much of a role anyway. I don't really like assassins. They're not really worth it for their stab skill because they're quite expensive for what they actually are. I know they're good against low armor value teams. You might as well be blocking anyway against low armor value teams. Oh, so he's injured me again. This time far less likely than with his mummies. So I guess he can have his ghoul for that. It was quite a good hit. I really need to think of a way of getting the ball off it, and preferably I could do with injuring a few of his players, because now I'm down 2 players. This is the only thing with most elven races, is they're quite fragile. And they're not much good if they form up a cage like this. I mean, a couple of elf races are alright, but it can be a bit tricky. So, right. What we're going to do is we're just going to keep pushing him back. There is literally nothing else you need to do. We'll use Frenzy, which means that if she doesn't roll the desired roll, she pushes forward and gets another attack. So he has dodge, so he'll be fine. But point is, they're pushed back a little bit more.
You remember the Dark Elves final between the Dark Side Cowboys and the Chaos All-Stars, Bob?
Who doesn't, Jim?
Maybe the Chaos players that got turned into slugs by illegal magic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are literally just forming this cage up. And I'd like to coax him into going down this side, in which case I could use the superior movements I've got to run around the back a bit, but... At the moment I'm literally just taking risks on this. I'm 2 players down, which isn't great. If I can get him, he can not score this turn, then that helps my situation a lot, but at this rate, if he keeps knocking down players this quickly, so I could expect to have about 7 players left on the field by the last turn. You see, even though I moved that guy there and he got knocked down, he had to use 2 zombie movements, which means he's actually delaying the cage movement a lot. And he's going to have a hard time moving that cage forward, so it's 2 for 1 really. We could potentially move it here, but again, he might leave his zombies out, especially if one his mummies. Although his mummy looks like it's going to actually hit me, but it doesn't do too much damage, so we're alright. So yeah, his mummy can only get about this far, which means I'll have a actually good front to attack in on. Yeah. So it's not looking amazing now. In fact, actually, he's only got a few things he can move forward. So yeah, as long as he moves 1 square forward each time, he's going to struggle to score. But I've got to keep all the front covered so that he doesn't just get round me. That's the main issue. But as you can see, he's loosening up the cage a bit. And yep, okay, that's an interesting idea that he's used. Again, another 2 there, so which might have opened up a gap for me actually. It's almost a gap. It's almost worth taking. She's got dodge, so she can do that. And as you can see, she's pushed him right into the midst of my players. So I can now isolate him and hopefully get the ball off him. I mean, I've used the re-roll annoyingly. But he's not wanting to die. There you go. And I knock him out. So that's a pretty good result. Right, so now the ball is in my area and he's got no players who are particularly able to pick it up. And I move all the way back here. I now have the ball, which is great. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. That will provide me with something. I'm still one player down actually. So he could still very potentially beat this. I'm not looking forward to that Witch Elf being beaten up, because it could happen. And I'm still worried about these mummies, because they're still dealing a huge amount of damage to my team. But if I can somehow break away now with the ball, she's got dodge, so she's actually made it out to here, I'd imagine. Yep. So that's his mighty blows out the way, which is a relief. But it doesn't mean it's my far over. She's got armor value 7, so I think if you were in my previous video when I made this team, I mentioned that these Witch Elves don't last very long, and it's true, they really can't stand up to much punishment. Okay, so he's trying to put this guy in out of business a bit. I just really need to think of a way of getting maybe getting a run going down this side, because if I could get a run going down that side, I have something to start off with. He's going for the attack on the runner. So he's actually drawing players away from here, which might benefit me if I can just break out. But as I said, I need to break out, and that's the difficult bit. Okay. Okay, so first of all we want these players up, because they'll block off. Now it's quite tempting to sort of just pull away. Shoot. Okay, I'm just trying to think this one through. Let's just see how far she makes it. She needs to use the dodge then. Okay, so the dodge didn't get used, so I'll have a reroll again if need be. This is beginning to look increasingly tricky. She could make it to there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pass the ball to the Witch Elf and hope she catches. She shouldn't fail the catch, but she does, which is a pain. That elves shouldn't really fail catches. So that's gained him a considerable, maybe some time back, but maybe he's still got to pick up the ball, and I've still got players around it and you can really attack. I should still have a player around the ball, at least to some degree, but that's not useful. I mean, in these sort of situations, elves do quite well in scrabbling and picking up the ball, but here he might push him onto the ball, but no. A mighty blow puts him into a knocked out state, which isn't great. Okay, what's the other mighty blow used? I'm quite surprised she failed the catch. But, didn't fail the catch on like a 1, which is a pain. Just trying to think how I'm going to go about this. Ow! My runner's just got some fracture. I don't know what that does. Miss next game, so it's not disastrous. Elves are horrible to get casualties. If you gain a casualty with elves, it's nasty because they really do not. They're expensive players, to say the least. Okay, so we need to think of an ingenious way of getting the ball and running away with it. Now, my best plan would be to push a player onto the ball. If I could push a player onto the ball, it might roll out of the ruck, and I might be able to pick it up with a bit of luck. But that would require... Nah, I'm knocked out again. So this is the revenge I'm getting for... See, she's got very little chance of actually doing anything. There's... Okay, so the plan I'm going to go with is try and push this player onto the ball, this player, which could fail miserably, but it doesn't, and I should. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone will pick it up, but it could mean that happens, which means she can pick it up and run off with it, hopefully. Like that. Now, the only issue is that there's still people who can potentially get in the way. So I'm going to still go for a couple of blocks, try and make myself some room. I'm playing a very fluky game here. Okay, so I'm just going to put her there on each try, but she fails the dodge. So you should be able to get to the Witch Elf, but whether he'll be actually able to tackle her is another question. My hope is that her dodge will get her out of the situation and she'll be able to leg it up or pass it to him. Hopefully he might push in people from here, in which case this guy can make a run for it. But this is what elves are very good at doing. They're very good at running off with the ball when they've got lone people. But it's still not looking very good with 3 injuries.
I really enjoy watching the Dark Elves in action.
I didn't figure you was a dark elf.
He's probably going to go for the injury gameplay if he can't score. Thing is, it's looking hopeful for the fact that he might not be able to score. Because he's going to have to make a throw in the sun. So that's a start. But he's still got the potential to still go up, even if he doesn't score and I don't score. I could go in, he could just tackle me. I really need both of these players up and his to stay down. 2 players down with elves is fine, you can recover from that, but 5 players down is getting a little excessive. Okay. So he's likely to... Okay, I'm confused as to why he hasn't... He's pushed up. Oh, he's going to blitz with this person. He's going to have to make 2 go for it rolls. And he doesn't quite make the block, which is and he doesn't choose to re-roll it, which is extremely odd. But I'm sure he has a master plan and reason for that. Again, I'm just sort of hoping that the elvish speed will get me away here. I'm thinking get the ball to him. If I get the ball to him, but before I do any of that,
Back in the days, there were no undead teams.
Could you perhaps explain why to the fans at home, Jim?
I don't really want to take any risks. Okay, so this is going to be basically based on she might not make the roll she might. It doesn't seem likely that he's going to actually catch the ball, but he does. Now he's got to make a dodge, and he should be away. And Elvish Luck gets away with it again. There is literally no way he can catch me, so I should be 1-0 up. Because look, there's a chance that he can put this player, if he can put this player there, then I have to make a dodge roll, but fingers crossed, he can't score now, and I'm off with the ball. So he's going to make sure he uses his mummies, I'm sure, to try and get as many hits in as possible. Yeah, he's not even bothered to... I just need to pray I don't get injured too much more, because that's the main issue there. But I like playing elves. They're cheeky. They really do get away with too much, but they need to because they're so fragile. As you can see, I'm really getting beaten up here, and a lot of them are armor value, well, low armor value players. So some of them are even medium armor value players. So I'm getting lucky. That's it's a dice game, and when you're 5 players or 4 players down, rather, you really need to just start going for every chance you've got. And at least my reckoning was it's probably about 3rd chance you would fail any rolls up here. I literally have to score this now. There's not much choice. So he goes and scores, and my blitzer gets the first goal of this team. So yeah, well done. Which is nice to see. Okay, so I'd kind of like to see how much my team is still on the pitch at the moment. So half time comes. I'd like to know. Oh, I get 1 player up. So if he doesn't get, yeah, he gets his player up. So I'm 4 players down at the start of this. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but this might be another boring 2-2 draw. It could look that way. So I guess the plan here now is to... I can't really delay with the ball, but what I can do is I can at least go for an aggressive run up the flank, protect it, and with the elves' speed I should be able to run off with the ball, hopefully. Get it to the touch line. Either that, or I just play around with the ball at the back for a bit and wait for a lucky throw. Which if he's going to leave only zombies and players here, I'm actually quite tempted to do, because they're going to be slow, so I could just run downfield, push some flanks up. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea actually. Okay, so we're going to leave the lineman there. Down a runner. But, so what we're going to do is we'll just play the game as if we were defending. We're going to, when we pick up the ball, we're going to keep it at the back, and then we're going to pull these guys back gradually, and then at some point I hope to break. Okay, throw rock. Yes, the crowd helped me there. They just injured one of his players, and it was a mummy. A mummy, brilliant. They just, the crowd just threw rocks. They did, of course, hit my witch elf. But yeah, no. So first things first, I just need to get this ball to the back. I might try a throw, though it's risky because I don't. He shouldn't be able to capitalise on it, even if they miss it. But it gets me SPP. No. She can fail the catch. But yeah, so he's only 3 players up now, but I'm basically playing to try and delay the outcome of this match extensively, because if I go for a full-on run up field, he's got his players back to stop me doing that. So with the amount of numbers he's got, he'd probably be able to just push me to the side, take the ball and run up with it himself, score 1-1, and then go for a quick touchdown on 2-1. I'm thinking if I can have him run fanatically upfield, and then maybe forget about one, and then let one of my players just run up, as you saw, because elves can play the ball upfield just that quickly. They're just that fast. So I thought he's got my players quite surrounded at the moment, but that's alright. He's got the problem with Undead is they haven't got amazing overall players, but their good players are very good. And ghouls make excellent, because of their high movement and their dodge, if they come with dodge skill, they make excellent runs as it is. So there's nothing particularly great about Undead, but they're a pretty average team. Now I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this, because I need to work out my plan of attack here, because he's just pushing straight upfield, which I thought he might do. And the last thing I want is to just get overwhelmed. So I want to keep these guys out of range of me just until I can then lob the ball upfield and make an attack. Technically I could make a hit there. I mean, the first thing is to get the ball out of the way. I need to pick up the ball this time, so I'm going to use a reroll. Right, so he's now at the back with that. I've now got to basically find a line to just go straight through. So I guess my best option would be to maybe blitz through this zombie, but there's no telling I'll actually get to it. And then I can make a run for it upfield, if he doesn't fail the dodge, which he does. Yeah, it's still not looking amazing, but my plan is he's going to probably rush these players upfield, in which case I'm going to just run around and lob it as hard as I can upfield, and then maybe my players will just get some lucky dodges, get out and do that. I don't know. That doesn't sound very tactical, does it? I just want him to commit these players. They stand there, they're not going to actually get too close. Once they're committed, all he's got left defending the back are slow zombies and mummies, which should allow me to just lob the ball upfield, as long as he doesn't intercept, and then go for a quick second touchdown. Of course, the fact that he might intercept is always a probability, but I try not to think about that too much. Either that or this side could be a potential good place to put it, because this side is looking pretty much swamped. And then down another player. See, this is where I could do just the extra 1 or 2 players and make all that difference in this game. But I don't have them, so I shouldn't really complain. I'm probably going to be relying on pretty drastic methods soon. And he doesn't manage to actually get, unless he's going to go for a broke down result. Oh, he does go for a broke down result, and it badly hurts me. Okay, so yeah, it's looking pretty freaking desperate now. So, the best probably course of action would be to get these players up. Okay, so I'm basically relying on a second goal and him being particularly slow to get me out of this. So she jumps up, which means she can move. There you go. Okay, she's away. Now all I need to do is get a really fluky lob upfield. This is likely to fail. Okay, so I really have no choice here. I've got to just go for a quick lob upfield, which will probably not even achieve that much, really. But it gets a perfect launch, which is surprising because there's a 1/3 chance of that. But she's now upfield with the ball. Hopefully that closes the turn, and I have. If he doesn't score a good hit on her, I could walk off with the. I could get away with this. But he could potentially attack with quite a few of these. This. Ow! That's nasty. As you can see, my team's not actually having that pleasant a time. I'm now 7 players off the pitch to his 1. So yeah. We're just sort of hoping he doesn't score this. He doesn't oh, he does manage to get the block. Okay, that's a bit of annoyance. See, that's why I like giving Witch Elves block, because they don't come with block, but once you've got block and dodge, are pretty difficult to take out. Because you need a pure yellow dice to do anything. Now we hope that it takes him a while to score the touchdown, and then maybe I'll be able to do a quick flank, well, a quick score up the wings when it comes to it. But he probably will go for a quick touchdown. If he waits around for draw, I think that proves a certain point about players in this game. But we'll see. What I really do I'm doing is wasting a few rerolls. So here he comes to pick up the ball. His reroll, he at least used a reroll, but he's not going to play it upfield that quickly. I'm just going to basically go for some injuries. In fact, I might actually be able to put players here to at least stop him scoring the goal that much quicker. Because I basically want to just delay the time that he's got to score this goal. Because the more time he has to spend scoring the goal, the more likely it's going to end up as not a lose for me. Of course, that does mean dodging out players into positions they should be in, but hey, it's all a bit of a... Once you've lost this many players, you really just have to hope the dice go in for but yeah, this isn't looking amazing. Okay, so here he comes to take out my Witch Elf, and he doesn't manage it, so she's going to dodge and he's going to put it there. Which means he'll probably come along with this player, hand it off to this guy and go for the quick touchdown, which means he has 3 turns to score the next touchdown while I'm holding the ball. Now what we can hope for is that he doesn't manage to actually pass the ball on successfully, But that's the only roll he has to actually make. I'm also going to have to hope that I actually get 2 players up, because otherwise I'm going to be good. Okay, he managed to pass the ball, he scored. There's no reason for him not to score more. If he delays, then, well, that's just very, very strange, because he should be going for the 2-1 win. He can by far do it. He's used up another reroll, knocking that guy down. Yeah, should be interesting. Okay, so here he is running down the pitch. Yeah, that's good sense, really. Not a touchdown, but I really need to hope that I have some players up by the end of this. I get 1 player, so I'm on 6 players to this. No, worse than that. I'm on 5 players. Okay, it's not looking good. Because I need to put so many players on the line of scrimmage anyway. Okay, so I literally have very little choice of what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to play the ball upfield and hope to God that he doesn't manage to actually get a good, particularly amazing rolls. I'd like a re-roll if that's possible. Okay, so that's a good start. The ball's about to land off field, I think. Oh no, it's not. It's about to land there. So that could potentially mean I can move my player onto the board if he rolls a catch roll. Essentially, we just want to... Okay, so he catches, which is a good start. I wasn't very wise putting that guy there, because that just really hinders me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to... And that can happen, which will screw up the entire game for me now, because he now has all the access to that player. That is a real pain. I can hope that he doesn't get a good roll on this guy, but it's probably not going to happen. He's got a mummy who can attack, so... Yeah, that might lose me the game, that roll. Which can happen in Blood Bowl. If you roll a bad, even like on a 2-die block, which you should win on that in that case, you can just not get it. Although this guy... There you go. He had to use a reroll to do that, but he's managed to mighty blow. Ow. Yeah, this is the end of the game for me, I think. It's going to be very lucky of me if I can get away with if I don't lose this. But with such a massacre of players, I think smashed ankle might lose me a decent amount, and fractured arm, badly hurt, badly hurt, badly hurt, badly hurt. So I think can't remember what smashed ankle is, but it might be. I mean, I have to get rid of that player due to lack of movement value. Or rather, I will have to replace him as soon as I get a chance. But yeah, here he goes. He's gonna pick up the ball. Now my only option is to really charge him down, but if he puts a player there, then I can't actually reach him. Oh, he managed to pick up the ball. I was hoping the third chance that he wouldn't manage to pick up the ball would occur, but it did. Okay, so end of match in a minute, which is meaning this is pretty much over for me. Shoot, this is not easy. He's on the other side of the game. Oh. That's how one roll can really just completely destroy you. Okay, that's not going to work. We have only one plan, which is to get my players out. Oh, and she fails the dodge. Yeah, okay, that is definitely a win for him now. He should not be able to lose this, and he'll, when he's about to, rather than score it in like the 15th turn, he will sit there until the 16th, just in case. But it was a good game, but I think dice were not as good for me there as I would like them to be. Tried scoring a cheeky. Yeah, I mean it might have been entirely different if the situation over here, if I'd managed to push up here, and we'd just been able to make it 2-1. But this is Blood Bowl. A single bad dice roll can completely destroy your game if you win. It's also a reason why you need more rerolls. But with early teams and elf teams, they're so expensive you can't actually afford rerolls. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm about to get completely destroyed, so I might as well just let him do his thing now. Yep, there's another knocked out player. So that's 6 on injured and 2. So I have 3 players on the pitch. This is a promising starting game for the Blood and Soul team, isn't it? There is really nothing I can do here. Oh, I can technically try that. This should be interesting. You can't make dodges into zones which are surrounded because basically the more dodge zones there, the more tackle zones there are around the dodge area you're going for, the more... Oh, he's going to stamp on me. This isn't going to be nice. He's going to stamp on my witch elf. Say goodbye. Leave that. Ow. Oh, she's still alive. Still alive, guys. Still alive. We have nothing to do. I'll possibly blitz this and I hope I get an injury and some SPP. But yeah, so that was the first game that we played with this team. So this is the viewers' team. This is the one I made for you guys. So I hope you enjoy this. This is a complete massacre. It's quite rare you get an entire massacre like this at low levels just because they don't have this ability to play it. But if they might charge down and try and go for an extra injury, if they do, you could fail it. In which case, it would end a draw. But he shouldn't be that stupid. He shouldn't make this attack, especially. He gets it, sadly. But he gets a mighty blow. But he was probably going. That player was on 4 out of 6, so he got and that's the touchdown. I reckon there might be a chance of it. No, well, let's just... Yeah, that's over. Well, let's just have a look at the stats at the end of that anyway. It was a truly eventful game, truly brutal game. 5 KOs sustained, 6 casualties sustained, so that was 11 players left the pitch at one point. Not necessarily all 11 did. My MVP was a redundant lineman. His MVP was probably the guy who scored. But yeah, so that was alright, I guess, I suppose. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at what happened to them. So yeah, 2 of them are, this one's smashed ankle means loses 1 point in movement allowance and misses a game, which is really not very nice at all, actually. and my runner is also not. It's not a strong team at the moment. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and this will be my second Blood Bowl video, I'm thinking. So I hope I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. And the massacre that ensued. That shows how very variable this game really is, and that the teams are so very different. Yeah, I guess I'll bringing you more videos at some point. But until then, I can't speak at the moment. Until then, I guess have a good one, and wait your comments. Laters.